Much has already been said about the mayhem that ensued after Sebastian Vettel announced his retirement shortly after the summer break, with the focus on the show being the feud between Alpine and McLaren over Australian Formula 2 champion Oscar Piastri. However, with several changes to the F1 grid for 2023, there are a surprising number of opportunities for some drivers, both within and outside the sport, to earn a spot in some coveted seats. In this video, we'll take a closer look at AlphaTauri, Red Bull's sister team, and how they found themselves in the middle of yet another silly season quandary, and what it could mean for the Formula 1 grid in 2023. With the confirmation of Oscar Piastri's contract and thus place at McLaren for the 2023 season, the French Alpine team is now looking to fill the void left by two-time world champion Fernando Alonso, who has announced his intention to join Aston Martin next year. Alpine took the Piastri contract saga to the Sports Contract Recognition Board, which has since sided with McLaren, who quickly announced that the young Australian will join Lando Norris in the team in 2023. Following the game of musical chairs that began in July when Sebastian Vettel announced his retirement, an empty seat has now been left alongside Esteban Ocon at Alpine. The seemingly increasingly likely name to fill that vacancy is Ocon's fellow countryman Pierre Gasly, who, despite having a contract with Red Bull and AlphaTauri till the end of 2023, has been linked with a move to Alpine. That speculation became a lot more credible when on the opening day of the Dutch Grand Prix weekend, Red Bull advisor Marco stated if certain conditions were met, the team would not stand in Gasly's way, but reiterated those conditions had yet to be fulfilled. We have a valid contract for 2023, but in the meantime, there are talks. If our conditions are met, we wouldn't stand in Gasly's way. It would be a dream come true for him to drive in a French factory team. But not all the conditions have been met yet. Given that Alpine is the only French team on the grid, there is little room for speculation as to who Marco was referring to. Gasly himself hinted at a deal when he was overheard telling George Russell and Carlos Sainz at the Belgian Grand Prix that he was still working on the final details of the contract, but has since denied it has any involvement with Formula 1. If Gasly, however, were to leave, there will be an open seat at AlphaTauri, and Marco says the team has a backup plan in place if that happens. We've already thought about that, but we don't want to announce that yet. We have some people in the junior squad who have a super license. For the reserve driver, we would recruit someone from that. There has been speculation that Marco is interested in Andretti Autosport's IndyCar frontrunner Colton Herta, which he has not refrained from commenting on, but has asserted that it is a case of wait and see. He has already done a Formula 1 test. He was good. I don't want to get into details. Let's wait and see how this develops. Herta tested a Formula 1 car for the first time this year, driving the McLaren MCL 35M as part of his development deal with the team. One obvious issue is that Herta does not currently hold a super license, which would allow him to race in F1 in 2023. A driver needs 40 points to gain a super license, and thus the right to compete in Formula 1. But while IndyCar is a point-scoring series at the same level as Formula 2, Herta currently does not have the required number of points. Herta sits on 32, and due to the current system, which allows a driver to count their 3 best results from the previous 4 seasons, Herta is not on track to claim a finish in the 2022 IndyCar standings, which could be counted among those results. However, sources say that because it is in the best interests of Formula 1 and its teams to have an American driver like Herta on the grid, given the series' popularity in the country, it puts pressure on the super license system and how it will be interpreted in Herta's case. If he gets a license, we might as well all stop investing in F3 and F2, said a paddock source close to junior drivers. There are, however, potential routes for Herta to still qualify for the super license due to a provision in the International Sporting Code, though it is reported that he would have to compete in a Grand Prix for AlphaTauri this season in place of Gasly or Yuki Tsunoda. With Red Bull reportedly willing to release Gasly, freeing up a seat at AlphaTauri, it is quite amazing that one of Formula 1's largest junior programs does not have a driver to offer up to their sister team, but Red Bull may find themselves in this position. Currently, their highest placed junior driver is Liam Lawson, who finds himself P5 in the Formula 2 standings. There have been glimpses of quality from the New Zealander, who made his AlphaTauri free practice debut in Belgium. But with him now out of F2 title contention, Red Bull would be justified in having reservations about including him in the AlphaTauri lineup. Lawson, like all junior drivers, has high hopes of landing that coveted AlphaTauri seat and has recently commented on his current situation. When asked about Colton Herta's potential move, he reiterated that for the time being, only discussions are taking place and that he will wait to see what is decided while he focuses on F2. Speaking ahead of the Dutch Grand Prix, Lawson said, at the moment, it's just discussions, and from my side, it doesn't change a lot for me. I'm still focused on delivering the best job in Formula 2 that I can and trying to finish this year, I guess, strongly. It hasn't been the season we hoped for. But I guess the talk in Formula 1 at the moment is all the discussion at the moment, and from my side, I'll wait to find out what is decided for me. But right now, it's just focusing on Formula 2. Lawson is the reserve and test driver for both Red Bull and AlphaTauri, having been promoted to serve both teams after Yuri Vips was dropped in June. He made his first Formula 1 outing last weekend, having previously driven for AlphaTauri during last year's post-season Abu Dhabi Young Driver Test. The New Zealander said the session was a good opportunity to get to know the AT03, after previously only driving the 2021 contender. I think it was important for me to have that session. I knew about potentially doing it for a while this year. I'd done the test at the end of last year, and obviously it was a pretty amazing experience, especially in the old car. It was nice to do the session and get through it. It's over very quickly. It's only an hour long. I don't think it changes my confidence too much. I think that stayed the same, I would say, but it was just nice to have that session to get familiar with the car because the new one is quite different from the old one. While signing Lawson to the sister team could be considered a risk, Herta, who has yet to compete in a Formula 1 race weekend, would arguably be an even greater risk, even if there is the pull factor of housing an American driver at a time when Formula 1 interest in the country is at an all-time high. But at the heart of it all is Pierre Gasly, and it will most likely be up to him whether or not a position at AlphaTauri is even available. Of course, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the Frenchman, who has been relegated as a Red Bull afterthought ever since his failed outing with them in 2019. Now that it appears Marco and Red Bull are willing to let the driver go, former Red Bull-backed driver Verne believes it is the best option for the Frenchman to indulge them. I really like Pierre and know him quite well. I think what he has shown over the past 2 years has been nothing but impressive, and there is no room for him at Red Bull. He has to move away at some point to start using his own wings to fly. I think Alpine could be the right team for him. One disadvantage of Gasly joining Alpine is his relationship with Esteban Ocon, as the two longtime rivals dislike each other. Verne says they'll have to deal with it and move on from their childhood rivalry. I'm not sure he is best friends with Esteban Ocon, but that's okay. At the end of the day, you are a professional driver. You are paid by a team. You represent the brand. And at the end of the day, you are racing for yourself. I am pretty sure the team can handle two French drivers, even if apparently they don't like each other so much. But water under the bridge. A lot of things happen. You race for a team, but you also race for yourself. And I'm sure they understand that. And it is what it is. They can make the best out of it. What do you think about the situation? Will Gasly leave AlphaTauri at the end of the season? If so, who will take his place? Herta, Lawson, or someone else? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos.